The claiming is about they put the wrong rotors on my car. The rotors
All
they
right.
put on there was making squeaky noise, and I discovered they put the wrong rotors on there, and I carried the car back. They changed the rotors, but they still put the same wrong rotors back on there.
Again, good morning to each of you. The court will take testimony, and anything that you say is being offered under oath. Inasmuch as it is the duty and the responsibility of the plaintiff to prove its case, the plaintiff gets the opportunity to go forward first. I do not allow interruptions, so I allow persons to speak what they have to say, and then the next person gets to talk. No two people can be talking at any time. When the court is speaking, then no one is talking for sure. But certainly each person gets a chance to tell their part, and then I allow the other party to respond. All right, and then the court will make a decision, as I indicated, on an appeal from the Small Claims Division. Any decision made by this court is, in fact, final. All right, let me begin then with the plaintiff in this matter. Who wishes to speak first, Mr. Berry or Ms. Berry?
Mr. Berry.
All right, Ms. Berry. All right, good morning
Mr.
to
Berry.
you. Mr. Berry. All right,
Yes.
good morning to you, Mr. Larry Berry. And you, together with Ms. Berry, brought this claim before the court. Tell me what your claim is about, sir.
My claiming is about they put the wrong rotors on my car. The rotors they
All right.
put on there was making squeaky noise, and I discovered they put the wrong rotors on there, and I carried the car back. They changed the rotors, but they still put the same wrong rotors back on there. My car requires a two-piece rotor. They put a single-piece rotor on there. And if I sent a picture, you have a picture of the road of the two-piece rotors. You have a picture of the single-piece rotor. They are completely different.
All right, so let me ask you a couple of questions regarding this, and then I'll hear from you a little further. I'm looking at your complaint that was filed in this matter. That complaint was filed on the 31st of July 2024. It alleges that back in April 25th, 2024, that you incurred damages, and what you pointed out is the Charger. I'm assuming that that's the type of vehicle that you drive. Is that correct, sir?
Yes.
All right. And so in your complaint, you allege that the Charger had two-piece factory rotors, and when you took it to the shop, they installed the rotors that was not to factory specification. They were two-piece, they were one piece rather than the two-piece rotor that you needed. Is that correct?
Correct.
And I see also that in that same document, you indicate the second replacement rotors were aftermarket single rotors. Subsequently, the brakes overreacted or something along those lines. Tell me, how did you, first of all, tell me what type of, what year is your Charger, sir?
A 2020 Dodge Charger Scat Pack.
And so how did you know that there was something wrong with the vehicle after the rotors were replaced? What caused you to feel that there was something wrong?
Well, when the day that I got the car out of the shop, I began to come home. I made it about 2 miles down. I began to hear the squeaking in the tires. I immediately turned around, went back, and when I went back, they sent a technician out there. His name was Mo, and they put him in the car with me. We drove around, and then he heard the squeaking. He said, "Well, that will go away." He said, "Now you can bring it back if it complete as a study do it. You can bring it back." And when I let him out, I drove home. When I drove home, I got out the car, looked at the wheels. When I looked at the wheels, they was bluish where they was overheating. And when it was overheating, I immediately called back up there and let them know I was going to bring the car back the next morning. And that's what I did.
Right. And so when you brought the car back the next morning, I believe you told me that there was a change that was made, the
They
rotors that were
changed,
on
they
the-
changed, they
Excuse
changed
me.
it.
Excuse me, I believe you told me that there was a change that was made at that time when you returned, but you still didn't have satisfaction. Tell me about that.
Right.
Tell me about that. So what did you, again, you know, the sequence of question that I have for you is that when you got those the second rotors on, what made you notice that there was something wrong? That's what I want you to tell me about.
Oh, I noticed it was the wrong rotors, and my rotors had like little bars around it. And I questioned him about where is the bars that go on the rotors, because I didn't really know the difference of a two-piece and a single piece rotor. And the bars wasn't there. And I mean, with the car still making noise of squeaking, you could never stop it. You could never stop the squeaking.
So what happened next? I know you went there the second time and you described what happened.
Second time they put the rotors on there. When they put the rotors on there, and I discovered they put the same rotors back on there, because I was telling them all the time that the car requires a two-piece rotor.
Okay, now, you know, I heard that. Here's what I'm asking you. What did you notice about the vehicle after that second time? What was going on? And then what happened beyond that time?
The squeaking was still there. And they said, continues to drive the car. And we was continues to drive the car, and the car with the rotors overheating, the car was in an accident because the car, it wouldn't stop.
All right. So what have you done? And so what have you done concerning those brakes since that time, if anything?
I carried the car to the shop and had them repaired at a different shop.
Different shop. And do you recall when that was? How long ago that was? Approximately when you had the rotors replaced at a different shop?
I didn't understand.
Yeah, can you recall how long ago that was, or when that was, when you had the rotors replaced by a different shop?
Uh,
But I know that this occurred in April, so sometime after April. Do you recall about when it was, what month it might have been? If not, maybe your wife will recall, but if you recall approximately when it was.
I can't recall. I can't recall.
All right. How much money did it cost you to get the repair done at the subsequent shop?
$4,000.
What did they do for $4,000, sir?
Well, the rotors, they got factory rotors. Those rotors cost something like $1,200 each. And they did do alignment, something underneath there for the stern wheel to be straight.
All right. So, and how much did you pay for the service at the Auto Planet?
$2,400.
All right. Anything else you want to tell me at this time? Go ahead, sir. You can talk to me.
One moment. I think I found the
One second, ma'am. One second. Mr. Berry, anything else you want to tell me at this time?
No.
All right, Ms. Berry, you may at this time tell me what you wish to tell me, ma'am. I know you wanted to tell me something about when the repair was done. You can talk to me now. Go ahead, ma'am.
You were asking about the approximate date, and it looks like it was 9/26/24, and the cost was $4,099.61. And this was done at Auto Clinic of East Point. All their mechanics are certified.
Thank you. So, ma'am, anything further you wish to tell me at this time about this matter?
No, I was just looking for information that you had requested to support Mr. Larry.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Mr. Berry, I'm going to come back to you for just a moment, sir. This work that you had done at the auto shop was in April, the end of April, and I know you went back there one time. Why is it that it's not until September that you get this repair done?
Because
Like-
the car wasn't drivable where it had been in an accident. And when I got the car, I straightened the fender out. Actually, I carried it back to Goodyear for them to show them what had happened to the car. And they wouldn't even let me leave the car to fix the brakes. I asked them to put the correct rotors on there, and they wouldn't do that. And that's what I parked the car in the backyard until I could get the car drivable to be able to drive it.
Right. So you said something about Goodyear. Is that the same as Auto Planet? You're suing Auto Planet, and you said something about Goodyear. Is Goodyear and Auto Planet?
Yeah, that's the same. That's the same as yeah.
It has three names, Judge. Goodyear, Auto Planet, and Detroit. What's that? Detroit Super Center.
All right, thank you. Anything else, Mr. Berry?
No.
Anything else, Ms. Berry?
No, nothing unless you have more questions.
All right, thank you, ma'am. All right, Mr. Ferguson, tell me what went down here. Is it in fact true that this gentleman, Mr. Berry, brought his vehicle to the Auto Planet Super Center for rotor replacement in April of 2024? Is that true?
That is correct, Your Honor.
And he brought it back a subsequent time, and a second repair in the nature of a correction, he says, was done. Tell me about that, sir.
Correction was done because the rotors and pads were overheating, Your Honor. They don't drive this vehicle, their young grandson does, and this is a very high-powered car. So the pads and rotors were squeaking because of overheating, which comes from excessive driving, like aggressive driving. So that's why we warrantied out the pads and rotors. As far as two-piece and one-piece rotors, we use a system called Techmetrics that goes off of VIN number, much as well as the dealer would use. Obviously, they have their own software. The previous court hearings, we did have Sarah Tarrant in here, which is the commercial manager from AutoZone, and she testified that the specs for the two-piece and the one-piece are, in fact, the same specs.
Let's stop you for a minute. You can't tell me what somebody else may have said or testified to. If they're here, they can talk to me.
Okay.
But you tell me, as you know, what the issue is here and what you believe the challenges are. You can talk to the counsel.
Absolutely. So I think what really happened was, the brakes failing. When we originally talked to Mr. and Mrs. Berry, they stated that the brake pedal had went to the floor. Brake pads and rotors don't allow for hydraulic loss. The only way for the brake pedal to go to the floor would be like a hydraulic loss, like a caliper failing or a brake line failing or something in that matter. So the car accident didn't happen due to faulty or wrong pads and rotors. It came from aggressive driving.
All right. So now, did you inspect the car? Or you have some expertise in accident determination?
Yeah, I had my master tech there at the time. Mo was the mechanic. The master tech oversees everything. The reason why I mentioned Techmetrics is because when it goes off of the VIN number, it breaks down the brake code for that VIN number. So yes, they make a two-piece and they make a one-piece rotor. They are both the exact same specifications. Both are high-performance rotors. One is just much more expensive than the other, but it's not the wrong rotor.
All right, you were saying something about the cause of the accident. You don't know anything about that. I mean, you're not an expert in that determination, are you?
I'm an expert when it comes to a braking system, and brake pedals don't go to the floor from pads and rotors. Only way that pedal can go to the floor is with hydraulic loss.
But you know that's not my question, right? My question is whether or not you're an expert in determining the nature and cause of an automobile accident. You're not an expert in that, correct?
No.
Because you drew some conclusions there, and I have to make the record clear in that regard. I understand what you're saying about braking systems.
Yeah.
You have background. You certified as a mechanic, sir, are you?
I'm not, but I have a full staff of certified mechanics. I've been in the business 27 years, so I really don't need to be certified because I'm not the one wrenching on the cars.
I didn't ask you if you needed to be certified either.
No,
I
sir.
did not. All right. Okay, I appreciate you telling me what you told me. This center that operates at the location over there on Grassy, sir. How long has that business been in operation, sir?
I've been with the company 17 years, and from my knowledge, 10 to 15 years prior to that.
And so it's a licensed business operation in the city of Detroit providing services, correct?
Absolutely.
All right, anything else you want to tell me regarding this matter, sir?
The pads and rotors that they ended up having replaced at Auto Clinic, and that amount of time from when we originally replaced them to them having them done, they were still fully under warranty through us. So they really didn't need to go pay anybody to have them done because we honor a warranty 6 months or 6,000 miles, whichever comes first.
So, you know, why weren't they repaired? It need be the third time.
After the second time that we had warrantied them out, we did not hear from the Berries anymore after that until we ended up in court.
All right, thank you, sir. Anything else?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Mr. Berry, you had a warranty on the brakes at Auto Planet Supercenter. And why did you take the vehicle back at that time?
I did take the vehicle back. I'd had the vehicle back 3 or 4 times. I was there in the morning time looking for the guy had ridden me up named Mike. I was there. He wasn't there. I was there the next morning with the guy looking for the guy named Mike so they could correct that ridden me up. He wasn't there. I was there the next morning for trying to get in touch with Mike. And that's when they told me Mike was at another location. And
let me ask you, I know that you were at the shop, the first repair, the second repair. The things you're telling me now is after the second repair?
yes,
And so you didn't, nobody responded to your request for service after the second repair, correct?
correct. What they did, I did talk to one guy when I carried the car back up there. It was somebody completely different in there. And when I requested the 2-piece rotor, I almost demand the 2-piece rotors. I told him that I needed the 2-piece rotors on my car because I just had an accident. And he said that he would get in touch with his boss, and his boss will get in touch with me. But if they replace them rotors and everything now, that I would have to pay for it. And he did tell me there was only a one-time return. You can only replace those rotors one time. One replacement. They say it's a one run replacement time, you know.
Anything, ma'am?
I just want to add, he was referencing the certification of his employees. At the last court date, there was no one there that was certified, and the judge had some concern with that.
I don't care what the judges, I don't care what the magistrate's concern was with that.
Okay. I'm just sharing. You asked us if there's anything. So he was. I'm done.
But anything relevant, that don't. All right, Mr. Ferguson, anything else you want to tell me? And then Mr. Berry is going to get the last word.
Yeah, no, protocol when a car comes in is to be rolled up. The car can't even come in the shop without being rolled up. I only have them there in the system twice, so we don't have a one-time replacement with our warranty. Our warranty is 6 months, 6,000, whichever comes first. Doesn't matter how many times we have to do it. It's rare that we would have to do it even more than once, but we wouldn't cut anybody off of warranty, no.
All right, thank you, sir. Mr. Berry, you get the last word, sir.
They did tell me that was a one-time replacement. This is the last time that I took it up there. They told me that was a one-time replacement. Actually, they didn't want to change the rotors the first time. And if they and with everybody in there doing different, it was three different the people in there had changed three different times, and everybody was in there doing something they didn't know they know who had did the work, but these are new people that I'm going in and talking to. And when he wouldn't let me leave my car, whatever it was, I drove my car back home, put it back in the backyard and everything until I could get the car fixed. I couldn't drive that car like that. And I had, even just like he was saying, my grandson was driving the car. I had my grandson to carry the car back up there three different times for the squeaking noise. The car would not stop squeaking. Every time you drive it, the brakes will squeak.
Right. All right, thank you, sir. All right, thank you. Thank you to both of you, to both sides in this matter. I have listened to the testimony offered in this matter, and I've listened to both sides to try and determine which way is up with this. Obviously, the plaintiff went to the Auto Planet Supercenter for purposes of having the car repaired. It appears that two rotors was the focal point of the repairs that was going to be made. The initial repair resulted in a return of the vehicle because there was squeaking and difficulty with respect to the functionality of the brakes. The Auto Planet Supercenter did receive the vehicle back and made what they believed to be appropriate repairs. The vehicle subsequent to that time still maintained the squeaks, and according to the testimony of Mr. Berry, had other problems that he believed may have contributed to an accident with the vehicle. The court cannot make any determination in that regard without a vehicle expert. What is most telling in this situation is that that Mr. Ferguson has indicated to the court that there are a couple of ways that a brake service can be done in relationship to rotors on the type of vehicle, the charger vehicle, high performance vehicle that was offered by Auto Planet Supercenter, and that the repair that was done, he concedes that it was a one-piece rotor that was different from the two-piece rotor, but that the vehicle specifications allow for the installation of either the one-piece or the two-piece. The problem here is that the one-piece did not perform to the specifications that were desired and anticipated and expected by Mr. Berry. Moreover, there is no testimony here that Mr. Berry was given an option as to which rotors he wanted replaced on the vehicle. To the extent that there is a one or a two rotor replacement, then certainly it would be incumbent upon the Auto Planet Supercenter shop to make sure that the plaintiff was aware of the options that were available in relationship to what rotors would be put on the vehicle. It appears that in regard to the Auto Clinic of East Point, where they put on the two-piece rotors, that there was a price difference of almost $1,600. So it would definitely have been a price point increase to do the what appears to be the upscale rotors. Certainly, that significant change in price would in fact be associated with the quality of the rotor that is being placed on the vehicle. And if that quality was available, that should have been made known to Mr. Berry. Moreover, it seems that on the occasion that the vehicle was returned, that there was some indication that the rotors were not working properly, such that they were replaced. The notion that Mr. Berry would not have returned complaining of the condition or complaining of the brakes on the vehicle, where there were subsequent complaints, it simply doesn't make sense here. I know that Mr. Ferguson has laid out a process that is embarked upon when individuals come to the Auto Planet Supercenter. That is that they bring the vehicle in, paperwork is generated so that there can be a diary or history of contact with the agency. Mr. Berry points out that on the subsequent times that he returned, that there was not any paperwork that was generated. There were only conversations that were had, and that it was during those conversations that he was informed that there was a subsequent repair that could be made, but that it would cost additional money to make that repair. What happens oftentimes in matters that are before the court, where the plaintiff has the burden of proof, as is always the case, all the plaintiff has to do is to ponderate, to show that the proposition they offered before the court is more likely than not to have occurred. In other words, they have to tilt the scale. It seems that in this case, that the plaintiff has tilted the scale here, that at a minimum, he was not informed of the choices that were available to him. And on the extreme, there was difficulty with the vehicle from the very first time that the rotors were put on. Those two items, together with ultimately a repair that was done at another shop that brought the vehicle to the specifications that satisfy the customer, suggest that putting the parties on equal footing requires in this matter that the service that was provided and the fees that were paid, that as relates to the cost that was paid, that those funds be restored to the plaintiff in this matter. Oftentimes, or many times, the court would see where there is some responsibility that is shared on both sides that would mitigate the amount that is to be refunded. Under this circumstance, I don't find that. I simply find that in this case, the plaintiff has met his burden to show that the work that was performed on the vehicle, not give options, moreover, that it was not performed to the specifications that would bring the vehicle to the functionality that was necessary for the vehicle to be safe and to operate in a manner that it should. For that reason, my finding is for the plaintiff, based upon the plaintiff's matter, and that complaint is for damages of $2,476.83. That amount will be granted together with the court costs in this matter, and that will be this court's determination. I'm now taking a look to see what the magistrate might have done. Well, looks like the magistrate got it right. So the magistrate's determination is affirmed. I look at it from the beginning to try and make my own decision. I don't care what someone else decides, because whatever I decide is final. And the magistrate oftentimes can decide things knowing that if somebody doesn't care for it, they can appeal it. But there's no appeal from this. But my determination turns out to be the same that the magistrate had. That is the order of the court. I will affirm the determination of the magistrate. I do wish both sides well. Good day to you. All right, you all are set to go. You will get an order affirming the magistrate's determination, and that judgment remains in place. All right, good day to you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.